instead of setting things up in response is to add a class and import students or add them individually. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle back over here to Teacher Tools, and I'm currently in a gradebook that has already been made. You'll notice that you have next step says add a class. So if I click on add a class, it prompts me to go ahead and fill out some information. So we're going to say this is my science class, and I want my passing grade to be 70%. Although students who have a 60 to 69 would receive a D, if I put 70, they'll be flagged in red, and I want to make sure I keep track of those kids as well as my failing students. I click on add, and it now gives me, I have three tabs at top. It's really important you understand that the student tab and the assessment tab, that they're there. So right now I have no students and I have no assessments. So if I go to start class, I could start a class, but it would start an anonymous class. So I need to actually add students, and so my students can sign in and I can collect individual grades. So I can click add students to your class, and you notice it gives me choices. Do I want to do the science or language arts? So I choose whichever class I want to add to and click next. I then can choose Microsoft Excel. So you see that that's actual choice. It would then prompt me to find a file that's in Excel. Okay, so that's how we're going to find the Excel. So let's go to Excel right now and actually see what a file looks like. This is extremely important. This is, you notice one cell, a second cell, and a third cell. Your first column must say ID space number. Your second column must be headed first name. The third column must say last name. You then just put your students' names in for first and last name, and then you need to choose an ID number. In choosing the ID number, it's often best for students if you choose a number that they already have to memorize, whether it's their library code, their lunch code, or a student ID that's used throughout the time they're in your district. This will help them as they use the response system with other teachers if everyone kind of unilaterally decides on what that number is going to be. So once you have this document finished, you just would save it, and I'm going to go ahead and save this on the desktop so we can see what it looks like in case you're not familiar with Excel. And so we're going to go ahead and again minimize so we can see it. And we see that there's our science list. Excel has the X right there. That's a worksheet. It says Science 9 class list. So I'm going to come back here to add students to your class, and so I'm back in Teacher Tools. And I'm going to do Science, Next. I made an Excel file, so I go there. And now as I go to browse, I go to my desktop and I'm going to find the file that I just saved, that Science 9 class list. It is going to import those students from the Excel file into the Teacher Tools. Most gradebook systems that are online allow you to export into Excel. So if you have Skyward or any other system, you would want to export into Excel, set your columns to match what you saw, and then import them in. So now you see that all my students are listed in here. They're in alphabetical order, and they also have IDs. If I need to add a student individually, I can scroll to the very last line. So as soon as I click on it, it allows me to actually put the student's information in by hand. So if a student happens to start your class after you've already set this up, you can do that here instead. Okay, notice that they automatically pop back into alphabetical order. So even though I put this name down here, it pops up where the S's are. This is all you need to know for adding a class and then adding students.